Welcome back. We are on day 50. We're going to be reading Numbers chapters 27, 28, and 29 and 30. We're going to be talking about the inheritance laws, Joshua, the next leader of Israel, the daily offerings, the Sabbath offerings, the monthly offerings, the offerings at the Feast of Weeks, the offerings at the Feast of the Trumpets, and the offerings on the Day of Atonement, the offerings of the Feast of the Tabernacles, and the law concerning vows. All right, let's get started. Numbers chapter 27. Then came the daughters of Zelophehad, the son of Hepher, the son of Gilead, the son of Machir, the son of Manasseh, from the families of Manasseh, the son of Joseph. And these were the names of his daughters: Mala, Noah, Hagla, Milcah, and Tirzah. And they stood before Moses, before Eleazar the priest, and before the leaders of all the congregation, excuse me, oh, by the doorway of the tabernacle of meetings, saying, Our father died in the wilderness, but he was not in the company of those who gathered together against the Lord in company with Korah, but he died in his own sin, and he had no sons. Why should the name of our father be removed from among his family because he had no son? Give us possession among our father's brothers. So Moses brought their case before the Lord, and the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, The daughters of Zelophehad, speak what is right. Ye shall surely give them a possession of inheritance among their father's brothers, and cause the inheritance of their father to pass to them. And ye shall speak to the children of Israel, saying, If a man dies and has no son, then ye shall cause his inheritance to pass to his daughter. If he has no daughter, then ye shall give his inheritance to his brothers. If he has no brothers, then ye shall give his inheritance to his father's brothers. And if his father has no brothers, then ye shall give his inheritance to the relative closest to him and his family, and he shall possess it. And it shall be to the children of Israel a statute of judgment, just as the Lord commanded Moses. Verse 12. Now the Lord said to Moses, Go up to the Mount Abraham, and see the land which I have given to the children of Israel. And when you have seen it, you shall be gathered to your people, as Aaron your brother was gathered. For in the wilderness of Zin, during the strife of the congregation, you rebelled against my command to hallow me at the waters before their eyes. These are the waters of Meribah and Kadesh in the wilderness of Zin. Then Moses said to the Lord, saying, Let the Lord, the God of the spirits of all flesh, set a man over the congregation, who may go out before them and go in before them, who may lead them out and bring them in, that the congregation of the Lord may not be like sheep, which have no shepherd. And the Lord said to Moses, Take Joshua the son of Nun with you, a man whom is the Spirit, and lay your hand on him. Set him before Eleazar the priest, before all the congregation, and inaugurate him in their sight. And ye shall give some of your authority to him, that all the congregation of the children of Israel may be obedient. He shall stand before Eleazar the priest, who shall inquire before the Lord for him by the judgment of Urim. At this word they shall go out, and at his word they shall come in, and he and all the children of Israel with him, all the congregation. So Moses did as the Lord commanded him. He took Joshua and set him before Eleazar the priest and before all the congregation. And he laid hands on him and inaugurated him just as the Lord commanded by Moses. Numbers chapter 28. Now the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Command the children of Israel, and say to them, My offering, my food, for my offering made by fire as a sweet aroma to me, you shall be careful to offer to me at their appointed time. And you shall say to them, This is the offering made by fire which you shall offer to the Lord: 2 male lambs in their first year without blemish, day by day, as a regular burnt offering. Wow. The one lamb you shall offer in the morning, and the other lamb you shall offer in the evening. And 1/10 of an ephah of fine flour as a grain offering mixed with 1/4 of a hin of pressed oil. It is a regular burnt offering which was ordained at Mount Sinai for a sweet aroma and an offering made by the fire to the Lord. And its drink offering shall be 1/4 of a hin for each lamb. In a holy place you shall pour out the drink to the Lord as an offering. The other lamb you shall offer in the evening as a morning grain offering, and its drink offering you shall offer it to the offering made by fire, a sweet aroma to the Lord. Sabbath offerings. And on the Sabbath day, 2 lambs in their first year without blemish, and 2 ephahs of an ephah, 2/10 of an ephah of fine flour as a grain offering mixed with oil with its drink offering. This is a burnt offering for every Sabbath besides the regular burnt offering with its drink offering. At the beginnings of your month you shall present a burnt offering to the Lord, 2 young bulls, 1 ram, and 7 lambs in their first year without blemish, 3/10 of an ephah of fine flour as a grain offering mixed with oil, for each bull 2/10 of an ephah of fine flour as a grain offering mixed with oil, for the 1 ram, and 1/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with oil as a grain offering for each lamb as a burnt offering of sweet aroma, an offering made by fire to the Lord. Their drink offering shall be 1/2 of hin of wine for a bull, 1/3 of a hin of a ram, and 1/4 of a hin for a lamb. This burnt offering for each month throughout the months of the year. Also 1 kid of the goats as a sin offering to the Lord shall be offered besides the regular burnt offering and its drink offering. Offerings at Passover. On the 14th day of the first month of the Passover of the Lord, and on the 15th day of this month is the feast. Unleavened bread shall be eaten for 7 days. On the first day you shall have a holy convocation. You shall do no customary work. And you shall present an offering made by fire as a burnt offering to the Lord, 2 young bulls, 1 ram, and 7 lambs in their first year. Be sure they are without blemish. Their grain offering shall be of fine flour mixed with oil, 3/10 of an ephah, and you shall offer for a bull, and 2/10 for a ram. You shall offer 1/10 of an ephah for each of the 7 lambs. Also 1 goat as a sin offering to make atonement for you. You shall offer these besides the burnt offering of the morning, which is for a regular burnt offering. In this manner you shall offer the food of the offering made by the fire daily for 7 days. As a sweet aroma to the Lord it shall be offered besides the regular burnt offering and its drink offering. And on the 7th day you shall have a holy convocation. You shall do no customary work. Offerings at the Feast of Weeks, verse 26. Also on the day of the first fruits, when you bring a new grain offering to the Lord at your Feast of Weeks, you shall have a holy convocation. You shall do no customary work. You shall present an offering as a sweet aroma to the Lord, 2 young bulls, 1 ram, and 7 lambs in their first year. And with grain offering of fine flour mixed in with oil, 3/10 of an ephah for each bull, 2/10 for the 1 ram, and 1/10 for each of the 7 lambs. Also 1 kid of the goats to make atonement for you. Be sure they are without blemish. You shall present them with their drink offerings, besides the regular burnt offering with its grain offerings. Chapter 29, Offering of the Feast of Trumpets. And on the 7th month, on the first day of the month, you shall have a holy convocation. You shall do no customary work. For you it is a day of blowing the trumpets. You shall offer a burnt offering as a sweet aroma to the Lord, 1 young bull, 1 ram, and 7 lambs in their first year without blemish. Their grain offering shall be fine flour mixed with oil, 3/10 of an ephah for the bull, 2/10 for the ram, and 1/10 for each of the 7 lambs. Also 1 kid of the goats as a sin offering to make atonement for you. Besides the burnt offering with its grain offering for a new moon, the regular burnt offering with its grain offering, and their drink offerings according to their ordinance, as a sweet aroma, an offering made by fire to the Lord. Verse 7, Offerings on the Day of the Atonement. On the 10th day of the 7th month you shall have a holy convocation. You shall afflict their souls, and you shall not do any work. You shall present a burnt offering to the Lord as a sweet aroma, 1 young bull, 1 ram, and 7 lambs in your first year. Be sure that they are without blemish. Their grain offering shall be a fine flour mixed with oil, 3/10 of an ephah for the bull, 2/10 for the ram, and 1/10 for each of the 7 lambs, also 1 kid of the goats as a sin offering. besides the sin offering for atonement, the regular burnt offering with its grain offering and their drink offering. 12. Offerings of the Feast of Tabernacles. And on the 15th day of the 7th month, ye shall have a holy convocation. You shall do no customary work, and you shall keep the feast of the Lord 7 days. You shall present a burnt offering, an offering made by fire as a sweet aroma to the Lord, 13 young bulls, 2 rams, and 14 lambs in their first year. They shall be without blemish. Their grain offering shall be of fine flour mixed with oil, 3/10 of an ephah for each of the 13 bulls, 2/10 for each of the 2 rams, and 1/10 for each of the 14 lambs. Also, 1 kid of goats as a sin offering, besides the regular burnt offering, its grain offering, and its drink offering. On the 2nd day present, 12 young bulls, 2 rams, 14 lambs in their first year without blemish, and their grain offering and their drink offering for the bulls and the rams and for the lambs by their number according to the ordinance. Also, 1 kid of goats as a sin offering, besides their regular burnt offerings with its grain offering and their drink offering. And on the 3rd present, 11 bulls, 2 rams, 14 lambs in their first year without blemish, and their grain offering and their drink offering for the bulls, for the rams, and for the lambs by their number, according to the ordinances. Also, 1 goat as a sin offering, besides the regular burnt offering, its grain offering, and its drink offering. On the 4th day present, 10 bulls, 2 rams, and 14 lambs in their first year without blemish, and their grain offering and their drink offering for the bulls, for the rams, and for the lambs by their number, according to the ordinance. Also, 1 kid of the goats as a sin offering, besides the regular burnt offering, its grain offering, and its drink offering. On the 5th day present, 9 bulls, 2 rams, and 14 lambs in their first year without blemish, and their grain offering and their drink offering for the bulls and for the rams and for the lambs by their number, according to the ordinances. Also, 1 goat as a sin offering, besides the regular burnt offering, it's a grain offering and its drink offering. On the 6th day present, 8 bulls, 2 rams, and 14 lambs in their first year without blemish, and their grain offering and their drink offering for the bulls, for the rams, and for the lambs by their number according to the ordinances. Also, 1 goat as a sin offering, besides the regular burnt offering, its grain offering and its drink offering. On the 7th day present 7 bulls, 2 rams, and 14 lambs in their first year without blemish, and their offering and their grain offering and their drink offering for the bulls and for the rams and for the lambs by their number according to the ordinances. Also, 1 goat as a sin offering, besides the regular burnt offering, its grain offering, its drink offering. On the 8th day you shall have a sacred assembly, and you shall do no customary work. You shall present a burnt offering of an offering made by fire as a sweet aroma to the Lord, 1 bull, 1 ram, 7 lambs in their first year without blemish, and their grain offering and their drink offering for the bull, for the ram, and for the lambs by their number, according to the ordinances. Also, 1 goat as a sin offering, besides their regular burnt offering, it's a grain offering and its drink offering. These you shall present to the Lord at your appointed feast, besides your vowed offering and your freewill offering, as a burnt offering, and your grain offering, as your drink offering, and your peace offerings. So Moses told the children of Israel everything just as the Lord commanded Moses. Chapter 30. The law concerning vows. Vows. Then Moses spoke to the heads of the tribes concerning the children of Israel. This is the thing which the Lord has commanded. If a man makes a vow to the Lord, or swears an oath to bind him by an agreement, he shall not break his word. He shall do according to all the proceeds of his mouth. Or if a woman makes a vow to the Lord and binds herself by some agreement while in her father's house in her youth, and her father hears her vow and the agreement by which she had bound herself, and her father holds his peace, then all her vows shall stand, and every agreement with which she has bound herself shall stand. But if her father overrules her on the day that he hears that none of her vows, nor her agreement by which she bound herself shall stand, and the Lord will release her because her father overruled her. If indeed she takes a husband while bound to her vows, or by rash utterance from her lips by which she bound herself, and her husband hears it and makes no response to her on the day that he hears it, then her vows shall stand, and her agreement by which she bound herself shall stand. But if her husband overrules her on the day that he hears it, and he shall make void of which a vow, and took what she uttered with her lips, by which she bound herself, and the Lord will release her. Also, any vow of a widow or a divorced woman by which she has bound herself shall stand against her. Is she vowed? Oh gosh, Axel. Oh my gosh, I'm almost done. If she vowed in her husband's house and bound herself by an agreement with an oath, and her husband heard it and made no response to her and did not overrule her, then all her vows shall stand, and every agreement by which she bound herself shall stand. But if her husband truly made them void on the day he heard them, really? Oh my gosh, you guys, we're almost done. Okay. Then whatever proceeded from her lips concerning her vows or concerning the agreement binding her, it shall not stand. Her husband made them void, and the Lord will release her. Every vow and every binding oath to afflict her soul, her husband may confirm it, or her husband may make it void. Now, if her husband makes no response whatever to her from day to day, then he confirms all her vows and all the agreements that bind her. He confirms them because he made no response to her on the day he heard them. But if he makes them void after he has heard them, then he shall bear her guilt. These are the statutes which the Lord commanded Moses between a man and his wife, and between a father and his daughter, in her youth and in her father's house. Okay, well, I have to get going, and I'm so sorry. My cat is literally like so needy right now, which I don't know why. But I just wanted to go over how many animals are we killing here? You know, I mean, sacrificing basically, which I'm going to do a little research there and post it in the summary. So, also, kind of want to go over chapter 30 a little bit more about vows. But yes, hope you guys have a great day.